What an amazing day this has been. Let us give a big hand of applause to all the speakers. Incredible talks. I'm sure we all had goosebumps all through the day. Some of us who are in the 70s went to school long back, went to college long back, got into academia or some of the professions, taught for decades mathematics, physics, and related subjects. I suspect that many of them might feel the same that I am feeling now. I want to go back to school. I want to go back to my first standard and begin to learn what merits learning. We learned so many things and did not learn what was our heritage. I mean, just now Sri Ram mentioned that, means we talk about Newton and Leibniz, and here these people knew it 500 years before Newton. Means the idea of a limit, the idea of a derivative, you can't do any science or any engineering, any technology without these ideas. And these ideas were developed right here. There is a very famous three-man paper in quantum mechanics written by Heisenberg, Born, and Jordan. But the three-man paper which impacted me personally was written by Ramasubramanian, M.D. Srinivas, and Sri Ram. This was 30 years ago, more than 30 years, I think.
Around 1994. Yeah.
Yes. And I must confess that I was not smart enough to understand all the intricacies. But what I learned from that paper, and which certainly influenced me in a very big way, was the kind of research they carried out. Extensive research which most of us would not even touch, thinking that it is not accessible. To get into those details, this was amazing. And I'm really very happy to share this very personal thought that it inspired me to understand what research really is. My mainstream research remained in a different area. I did not get into the studies of the Kerala School of Mathematics, which I always respected, admired, but did not study personally. But I studied something else. I was studying atomic physics. But that you get into the roots of a problem, go to the original literature, study it thoroughly. This is something which I learned from your papers. Thank you very much. We have had a great day, and we have another one coming up tomorrow. Professor Bhushan Patwardhanji, he brought about a very fundamental idea. Means we all know, everybody in every Bharatiya family, we recite Om and how fundamental it is to understand genetics. This is amazing. I mean, I think this is the book which we are all going to learn from. Professor Mahadevan is, of course, everybody listens to him on the YouTube, his talks, his book is so famous. And what a privilege it has been to listen to him in person today. He emphasized the importance of validating knowledge, which is really extremely important. And so much of this is happening now. I think all of you scholars over here, you have contributed so much to it in the last 3-4 decades. We are talking about the movement in Bharat in the last few years. But this is the collective work of many scholars, most of whom are with us today over the last 3-4 decades. It's not something which has happened in the last few years. It is only coming together now. We have had great talks. Dr. Sudarshan Iyengar made such an interesting presentation, pointing out how you go about studying difficult topics, using storytellings, and how these things are so important. The need to bring out fresh editions of classic works. How important it is something that sometimes we realize when we get a photocopy of some paper and read from it, and then we find that there are missing links and we cannot figure out what's going on. And how these missing links are to be reinvented, perhaps reconstructed. Professor M.D. Srinivas, I have always enjoyed listening to you, talking to you. It has always been a privilege, and you brought out the contributions of the Kerala School of Astronomy, you and your collaborators. We have had awesome talks today. Shekhar Mande, his distinguished father, Chintamani Mande, was my PhD thesis supervisor. And I was addressing Shekhar as Shekhar. And that's for a good reason, because I've seen him as a very young boy in high school. He once made a nice pinhole camera and was showing me how the image remains the same even if you turn the box upside down. It was amazing to get the kind of evidence. Sometimes we hear about people making claims that, okay, hamare paas ye tha, wo tha. But all the scholars today, they presented their conclusions with very robust validation. Like Shekhar talked about the dental surgery, for example. Every other work today, measurement of length and time. There is no physics, there is no science without it. And how these calibrations are done, means I heard your talk some time back earlier, Dr. Deshmukh ji. Very exciting research. Because one of the first things a scientist or an engineer learns is how to carry out measurements and how to calibrate your observations. Without that calibration, your measurements have got absolutely no meaning. It is very complicated. And to figure out how this was done so accurately through literature which most of us are not familiar with, I cannot imagine how much effort you have put in this and how many years of effort must have gone into this. This is incredible. It means even after reading your article, even after listening to your talk, it would take several weeks and months of intense study to understand this. And how you figured this out from literature, dug into the details, it's really amazing. I think all our future generations of scientists and engineers will be very grateful to you for this work. This has been a great day. This has been a great day, and very distinguished scholars have talked to us. We have volunteers in this hall who have taken notes throughout the day. I'm very grateful to all of them. They are going to assist us in generating transcripts of your talks. These are student volunteers, faculty volunteers. They're all working under the inspiration of Dr. S.C. Vatsji. Nahi? See, we visit so many institutions, but we don't get this kind of support. For faculty members and students to sit through, take notes with a commitment that, okay, these things, these transcripts are important so that we can bring out the proceedings from which students and others will continue to learn. That kind of inspiration and dedication you don't see in many educational institutions. We have it at the Vivekananda Institute of Professional Studies. Thank you very much.